It baffles me when people say that Boris Johnson has done his best throughout this pandemic. Mostly because it's blatantly not true. I mean, when this all started in 2020, Boris Johnson went on his second holiday in just a few months. His first one being after he won the 2019 general election in December. Then, when it hit the fan in March, he chose to go on his second holiday, didn't attend COBRA meetings for months on end, consistently ignored the scientific advice, and as the story, resurfaced just a little while ago, when hospitals and care homes were running out of PPE and screaming that they couldn't get any more, PPE manufacturers in this country were saying, we actually make this stuff. We've got orders from all around the world, but we will put every single order on hold and make sure that we deal with Britain first. We will sort out the UK before anything else. But the government has to contact us. They have to reply to our emails. They have to reply to our phone calls. And they're not doing it. Instead, the government gave public money without scrutinising these companies to companies that sprang up overnight, had next to no staff, had no history in making PPE or ventilation systems whatsoever. And that is the main bulk of how they got PPE. By going to companies who had no experience in making PPE and ordering from them, which led to a number of shipments of PPE into this country essentially being thrown in the bin because it wasn't fit for purpose. And that's why we had so many care staff and NHS staff who had died as a result of this. Because the government failed. Not failed because they tried and it just didn't work, but failed because they are far too concerned with taking as much of the public money and giving it to private mates who fund the Tories than they are of actually serving the country. That's the reality of it. So when Bojo, the man who Owen Jones put so perfectly, Boris, the man who's so dishonest, he lies about his own name. He lies about his own name. When the Prime Minister got up in Parliament talking about an inquiry into the handling of the pandemic, I didn't know whether I should laugh at how ridiculous and how absurd it was, or if I should get angry at how callous and how much of a disregard this man has for human life. Now, I've said many times before, Boris cares about Boris Johnson, that's it. I mean, that should be evident. When his wife turned round to him and told him that she had cancer, he left that day. And that is a particular, special kind of scumbag. And that is Boris Johnson. And if you voted Conservative in any of the elections since he took over, including the general election of 2019, that's the man you support. But back to the inquiry. The inquiry is absurd and it's likely to take years. You've already got people in BBC, that Fleming, saying yes, this could take months or even years, and there might be political gains, political leanings and influence into things. Yeah, there will be. Because the Conservatives will look to blame this on everyone other than the Conservatives. The findings of these results, if they are honest in any way, shape or form, will not come out until Boris and the entire cabinet is long out of power. Or, much like Theresa May with Windrush, they'll find a scapegoat who will go quiet for a few months, and then they will reward said scapegoat for as long as someone who has any allegiance to the party is in charge. That's what happened with Amber Rudd. The simple fact is we don't need an independent inquiry to figure out what happened. What happened right in front of us, which is all the more damning when you look at the Conservative results in all these recent local elections. Again, the NHS and care homes cried out that they were running out of PPE. Pandemic or not, in a hospital, that should never take place. Ever. In a care home, you can kind of say it as, okay, well, some care homes are private entities, so you should have a little bit that way. I would understand that approach. I don't agree with it, working in a care home, but I understand that approach. But when the NHS cried out that it was running out of PPE, what did Boris Johnson and Matt Hancock do? They ignored the British manufacturers who make PPE, the established and respected manufacturers of PPE, who were getting orders all around the world and who were saying, we will put all of these orders on hold, but the British government needs to respond. They need to take our calls, they need to respond to our emails. That didn't happen. Instead, we gave millions to a sweet shop in California. We gave billions in private contracts to companies that sprang up overnight, had no experience in making PPE. Some of these contracts went to companies that were pest control. They ignored the established, respected and highly in demand, credited PPE manufacturers and went to these other sources first and ignored at the cost of lives in the UK. Then you look at how they acted to the scientific advice. The fact that Boris Johnson didn't attend Cobra meetings for months on end. Hell, when this all started to go horribly wrong in March of 2020, what did Boris Johnson do? That's right, he went on his second holiday in just a few months. We don't need an inquiry to tell us what went wrong, because what went wrong happened right in front of us and it was being called out. Some of the media did their job. Not many did. And now, this independent inquiry, its real only focus is to hold off pinning the blame for as long as they can. And when they finally have to do it, to blame people who would have been out of government for quite a while. If you like the hoodie or you want other great merch with all proceeds going to charity, head on over to tailrent.store. Again, all proceeds do go to charity. It's great merchandise, eco-friendly and ethically made. Thanks for watching. Take care, guys, and I will see you next time.